Good evening, everyone. I'd like to open the August 10th, 2022 the City of Springfield License Commission meeting to order at 5:32 p.m. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for the Wednesday, July 27th, 2022 License Commission meeting. Did all commissioners have an opportunity to review the minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Any changes?
No.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve the minutes for the Springfield Board of License Commissioners hearing held on Wednesday, July 27, 2022.
Second.
Okay, Attorney Days. Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Okay, we do have some new petitions. We have a new annual beer and wine package store license for Aura Care Inc., DBA Aura Care, located at 878 Summer Avenue. Troy De La Cruz, manager of record.
Madam Chairwoman, we're going to continue this. The butters weren't notified, and I believe they still have to go to planning as well.
Okay. Okay, so I make a motion that we continue the first petition for a new annual beer and wine package store license for Aura Care, DBA Aura Care, located at 878 Sumner Avenue, Troy De La Cruz, manager of record.
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio.
Yes.
Thank you. Our next petition is for
Rosa, Troy is on the Zoom. Troy,
Yes, I'm here. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything.
okay, so you've been continued and you got to go to planning board and you got to notify your abutters.
All right, I'll see you
So-
guys on the 24th.
Is that
Okay,
going
you're
to
good.
be, Alicia, that's good? He can accomplish
Yeah,
both of those things by then?
Anna talked to Mr. Dela Cruz earlier, and
Okay.
so they've set up
Okay,
the times and
see you
everything.
in 2 weeks.
All right, bye guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so our next petition is a change of DBA for Springfield Hospitality LLC, DBA from Tower Square Hotel to Marriott Hotel located at 2 Bolin Way, Peter Marks, manager of record.
Paul Malik here for the petitioner.
Hello, Attorney Malik.
Hi.
Okay, can you tell us what's going on? Give us a little bit of information.
With much pleasure. My name is Paul Malik. I'm a lawyer at Doherty, Wallace, Pillsbury, and Murphy here in the city. This is a request to change the DBA name on the existing liquor license for use as a Marriott hotel. The owners of the hotel, after spending more than a substantial amount of money and gutting practically every room in the hotel, reestablishing the hotel to meet the standards of Marriott, which are incredibly stringent, have finally got to a place now where they're ready for an opening. The existing license reflects the old name of the hotel, Tower Square, and my clients have successfully procured a Marriott flag, which is very arduous to obtain. It's expensive to obtain. It is not given out lightly. You have to have many qualifications to be met before you can get a Marriott flag. I remember years ago when my client bought this property, they told me they wanted to create the best hotel in the city of Springfield. It appears that they have attained that goal. This is no longer a hotel that's mediocre. This is now a stellar and impressive hotel. And quite frankly, after I viewed it, I was proud to be where I was. I think it's a great thing for the city of Springfield. So I would ask that the commission grant the request by saying goodbye to the old name and welcoming the newest, latest, greatest Marriott.
Very good, thank you. Now, is the staff gonna remain the same with the exception of the manager of record?
The staff will remain the same. I reviewed with my client today that in the city of Springfield, anyone who touches liquor must be tip certified.
Mhm.
He has assured me that he will have tip certification for everyone and that they will go through a rather intense special training on handling liquor because the Marriott also has a program. They want to ensure that there's no violations of the law.
Very good, very good. Mr. Marks?
I was muted, sorry. Hello, everybody.
Hello, how are you?
I am super fantastic. I'm equally excited as Paul is to be at the finishing stretch of this beautiful conversion.
It does look beautiful in the outside. I haven't been inside yet, but
It is even better on the inside, I promise.
I bet. Can you give us a little bit a history on your background as manager of record? Have you been manager of record before?
So, yes, I actually am the person on record right now on the liquor license.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't have that.
This is just a DBA change, right?
Yes, Peter.
Okay.
Okay. Well, with that being said, I make a motion that we approve the change of DBA for Springfield Hospitality LLC, DBA from Tower Square Hotel to Marriott Hotel, located at 2 Bolin Way. Peter Marks, manager of record.
Second,
Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
yes, and congratulations on your hard work.
Thank you very much, sir.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Congratulations.
Thank you for everything.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Okay, next item on the agenda is a petition for transfer of license for Moen Inc., DBA Better Life Whole Foods, located at 1500 Allen Street from Moen Inc. to Bangsong LLC, Michael's A.S., manager of record.
Good afternoon, I guess, still. My name is Tom Kennefic. I represent the petitioner. With me is Mr. Epps right here.
Oh.
And the petition seeks to transfer the existing license which is an off-premises package store license to sell organic beer and wine in conjunction with, which is an ancillary product to its primary mission, which is the sale of health products, organic food and the like. The prior owner had the license for approximately 2 years, and she decided sometime in the early part of this year that she no longer, after the death of her husband, no longer wished to continue with the business. So my client, Mr. Mix, Mr. Atz, I'm sorry, has been in the restaurant business for 25 years. You may have remembered him. He was a bartender at the Fort for a number of years, and earlier on at Tilly's in an earlier iteration. He has a significant background in the restaurant business, and has been the manager of record with the company since the asset purchase was undertaken in April of this year. There's no change in use of the license. My client is going to be on premises, on site, managing and being present 6 days a week when the restaurant's open from 10 to 6. And so he'll be there on site at all times. He's got 4 employees that have been with the company and its prior ownership. And they're hoping to continue the fine service to the community that they've done in the past, and they're undertaking at this time. And so that's kind of an overview of where we are at this moment.
Okay. Mr. X,
Yes,
I can just ask you a couple of questions. Where do you live, sir?
Much
in,
appreciated.
in Springfield.
In Springfield? Okay. And you are all your employees tip certified?
Yes, yes,
Okay. You do know that you have to keep those certifications handy in the bar, well, in the liquor store. And you do understand that anything that happens at the establishment, whether you are there or not, you would be responsible, would have to answer to this commission, right?
of course.
Okay, you accept that responsibility?
Yes.
Commissioners, anybody have any questions?
So there's no change in the store where you're gonna continue with the selling all the health foods and the vitamin supplements and all that, and this is just gonna be the beer and wine as an ancillary use to the store. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Any other questions from the commissioners?
No.
Okay, then I'll make a motion that we approve the new annual all alcohol. Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry, I'm ahead of myself. A transfer of license for Moen Inc., DBA Better Life Whole Foods located at 1500 Allen Street from Moen Inc. to Bangsong LLC. Mike Lowe's as manager of record. Do I hear a second?
Second,
Okay, Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you very much. Thank
Good
you,
night.
commissioners.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, our next petition is for a new annual all alcohol GOP license for the White Lion Brewing Company, LLC DBA the White Lion Brewing Company. Raymond Berry, manager of record.
Good day,
Hello,
my
sir.
friends. Good
How
day,
are you?
commissioners. I am well. How are you?
Good.
I hope everyone's summer has been productive and very cool. It's been very hot out there. It is a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be in front of you again. We have just completed our first full year of tap room operation in downtown, adding another destination to the ever-evolving palette of experiences in the city of Springfield, and we're happy to be part of that conversation. So I'm in front of you today based off of primarily demand and a number of requests from the consumer that comes into our space. As you know, we are one of two breweries in the city of Springfield, the first craft beer brand to go and recognize the city of Springfield as its home. We opened up full go at the end of June last year. And as you know, based off of the permitting, all we can do or all we can serve currently under the farmer brewer's permit is what we produce. And what we produce is beer and seltzer. We're not allowed to sell wine, and we are not allowed to sell liquor or mixed drinks. The reason why I'm in front of you today is to request a change in that and go with a full license. We provide a very unique creative optic space in the middle of downtown Springfield. And I will say to the commissioners, if granted the approval, when you come into our space, you will not see bottles of liquor, bottles of wine on the bar. The reason why we are coming in front of you is to enhance the experience by way of what's called RTDs, ready to drink product. If you go to your favorite liquor store or package store, there are a new creative cocktail that's out on the market. There are already mixed beverages that sit in a can. You can get a Dogfish lime and vodka spritzer. You can get a Seagram 7 rum and Coke already pre-mixed. So our objective is to continue with the artisan environment out of the brewery, but also have an option for those that want to experience the White Lion setup to have a mixed cocktail. We have a number of people that come into our venue that want to support their partner, their wife, their husband, whomever it may be, but they want to have a glass of wine or they want to have a mixed drink. This will provide an opportunity for them to have that with their partner while experiencing the brewery in downtown. So again, I just want to reiterate, you come into the space, even though we have the option to have bottles up on the bar, that is not part of our optic. That's not part of our image. We'll have behind the bar, under the bar, cans that we would buy through a distributor that are already mixed cocktails. We'll have probably a portfolio of cocktails of no more than 8 or 9 that would have a component associated with vodka, component associated with rum, component associated with whatever other spirits that are out there. We would take that mixed cocktail, open it up, and put it in a glass snifter that we currently serve our beers out of. Again, so it's all about the experience. It's all about this extra option and not being looked at or perceived as a full bar.
Thank you.
So what happens to your current license, Ray? You keep
So, nope, that's a great question, Commissioner. We surrender that license.
you
So
surrender.
what we surrender the farmer brewer license, and we would now be licensed as, on the state side, as a brew pub with a GOP. So if you think of, I guess the best example in Western Massachusetts would be Northampton Brewery. Northampton Brewery is a brewery. They brew on site. They sell their own beer, but they also are a brew pub that allows them to go in, or you can go in, I can go in, I can get a glass of wine, I can get a mixed drink, whatever it may be. So there's 2 different licenses on the brewery side: farmers brewer's permit, where we're only allowed to serve what we produce, or you can have a brew pub with a full liquor license, which we are requesting now. If granted, we would surrender the farmer brewer's permit.
But that won't be surrendered until there's approval of the GOP.
Exactly, 100% correct.
Interesting. Okay, well, leave it to you to come up with this. Crazy.
I leave it to the state. They provide all the.
Well, I asked Anna, I was like, I don't understand what's going on. And she says, well, I got a phone call with the ABCC and I don't understand it either. So hopefully Ray will be able to explain it. So, okay, that's interesting. All right.
I have to honestly admit that I didn't understand it either. And I feel a whole lot better if Peter, who's been here for a very long time, didn't understand it either. So I'm okay.
Well, look who's proposing it, right?
So any other questions from the commissioners? No?
No, I have to say that we have left the office a few times and said, let's all go somewhere. And some of the employees have said, let's go over to White Lion. Well, I don't like beer and all they have is beer. So
right,
you may be seeing us a little more often now, Raymond.
That's the hope.
Okay.
Bacardi makes a very good rum runner pre-mixed, I have to say.
Okay,
So
there you go.
Yeah,
I will, absolutely. Absolutely.
all right.
I'm making a note of that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if we don't have any other questions, then I'll make a motion that we approve the new annual all alcohol GOP license for the White Lion Brewery. DBA, the White Lion Company, Raymond Berry, manager of record.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Kay,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. All right, congratulations. Good
Thank
luck.
you, commissioners. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Good luck, Raymond.
Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck.
Never hesitate to stop down.
Great.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Madam Chairwoman, the next matter, the informational hearing for New England motor cars, that's another matter that's going to be continued. If you recall, we put this on the purchaser of the car appeared before us, as well as Mohammed Rezine, I'm probably butchering his name, but they appeared and made an agreement with respect to the car that he had bought.
Right.
It's my understanding from the purchaser that Mr. Rezine has not made good on his promise to restore him back whole. So as a result of that, that's why it's coming back before the commission, but we're asking that it be continued until the next hearing. Mr. Muhammad could not appear. Mr. Razan, I'm sorry.
So
Okay.
what did he need to do, Alicia? Didn't he just give him a new car or a different car or? Was
Yeah,
it-
he did. And he did do that, but
Yeah.
it was June 22nd. He took it on June 27th, if I got my dates right, and it didn't pass inspection.
I saw the inspection report. So that's the new, the second car
The
failed
second.
inspection too.
That's correct.
Oh, God. All right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, well, with that being said, I make a motion that we continue the New England Motor Cars located at 720 Berkshire Avenue, Mohammed Hassan, manager of record, the complaint to our next meeting, August 24th, 2022.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Kane,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Okay, next item on the agenda is Delicia's Restaurant and Catering. DBA Delicia's Restaurant located at 1333 Boston Road. Derek Crespo, manager of record, incident of July 3rd, 2022, failure to abide by City of Springfield noise ordinance.
Well, I don't see Attorney Allen. Is his client here? No.
I don't see them either.
Okay. Well, I can tell you what has transpired. I believe that I provided you guys with the various emails and information that has transpired since July 18th. I did hear from, I believe he sent an email universally about 15 minutes ago asking that he be contacted when it's time for him to join in. I replied and said, I'll be at the meeting. So, there's not, going to be reaching out to let you know when it's your turn. I mean, we all have to be here throughout the meeting. And when you have 14 or 15 matters on, it appears to me that you'd be present. I will tell you that the city is ready to go forward on the incident of October 2nd into the 3rd, and we have officers present and we're ready to proceed. With respect to the October 23rd and 24th, there was attempts to have Attorney Allen come to my office to look at the video. Again, I provided emails as well as text messages where, of course, I reached out, arrangements were made. He did not appear on the day that we were scheduled to meet. Thereafter, I had one of my paralegals reach out to him the next day. He's here now, but I'm going to conclude my comment when he makes it. So on the next day, the request was that his clients be included or that he receive a copy of the video. And as I said, he has just appeared. Attorney Allen, are your clients here?
One of the principals should be here.
Okay, they haven't signed in yet.
Have a question you'd like us to look into, email us at answers@westernrescue.com.
But I'm here anyways, and I represent him, but I'll send him a text message.
Okay, it looks like he's connected now. So before us today, we have, as outlined on the agenda, we have several pre-hearing conferences. We have 3 final hearing conferences that are on our pending hearings list. And before the commission tonight there are two final hearings listed. In addition to that, there's an administrative review that we haven't heard yet, and it hasn't been decided what's going to happen to that one. That is on, as I said, for administrative review. It's my understanding and I believe no, maybe I just received this text message, but I believe there was an email sent out by Attorney Allen stating that his client wanted to resolve all matters, pending matters, final pre-hearing, final, and I believe the one that we haven't heard yet, that would be coming before the board administratively tonight. So with that being said, Attorney Allen, I'll let you speak to what your client is seeking to resolve all of the matters.
So my client would like to globally wrap up all the matters. As you know, I've been trying to contact you regarding discussing this prior to tonight.
And as I told you, no, let me stop you, because we're not going to start this way. But what I will tell you, what I told you was to email me with any requests that you had. Okay, you can proceed.
Are you done?
For the minute, until you say
all right.
something else.
Oh, well, you don't. I get to speak too. So I have reached out to you and asked to have a phone conversation with you, and you've said you would only communicate through email before you interrupted me. So we have been trying to reach a global resolution with the city on all the matters. I don't know what the administrative matter is, but they would propose a 14-day suspension or a 30-day consecutive suspension for your consideration. And then when the board wants to hear from me in mitigation, I would like to be heard, but I just wanted to answer the question that you had posed to me. I don't know what the administrative matter is on, but they're prepared to resolve it.
Okay, the administrative matter is a new complaint, which we would have heard administratively. We would have reviewed it tonight to determine whether or not it'd be a pre-hearing conference or if no action be taken.
So from my point of view, it makes no sense to keep coming back, but they do have a proposal for when they're able to reopen to maybe address the issue that keeps bringing these complaints in. But I don't want to, I'll speak when you guys want to hear that. I don't know if it's time to do that or not.
Okay, so I'll communicate what the city's position is with respect to wrapping up all of the complaints. So that would include everything that's on our pending hearings, as well as this administrative review and the two final hearings on tonight. The city is offering 30 days to wrap all matters up, but consistent with what our past practices have been, we are requesting that the suspension be served Thursday through Sunday when they're open. And I believe Attorney Allen is, as he said, is requesting 30 consecutive days. So in mitigate, I mean, Attorney Allen.
Yeah, sure. Want me to speak now? I don't just trying to go with the order. So I just wanted to tell you, when I looked on their website before coming on, they're open Wednesday to Tuesday. And I had screenshot it, but y'all could look at it now. But I understand what the city's recommending and what they're recommending, but ultimately it's the board's decision. And in mitigation, I would say, first of all, this alleviates a lot of hearings, a lot of hours of time. There is just a chronic noise issue. And what I have proposed to them is when they're able to reopen, that they hire a police officer on the weekends. And I think that's when the primary problem has been. And then whoever keeps complaining, the police will be there. So it'll be really proactive because they'll be on site and they will be inside, which I think it gets no better than that. Obviously, financially, I don't know how long they'll even be able to stay open doing that, given the rates and the hours on the weekends. But that would be one way, because I know it's one particular complaint it's the same complaint that comes in, but the police will already be on site. So hopefully as a deterrent, if they're there, they'll say these amperages are too high. I can hear it, the so many feet out. But it's one way to try and be proactive when they're able to open back up to resolve it. And then there is someone on site, a neutral, well, per se neutral person, without getting into the history of how violations were done, commissioners going to the establishment, hanging outside all hours of the night, some going with the police. I do think it's a way to protect them if they have the police there and they're hired the police officer that's going to be in there, at least for a short term, as long as they could afford it. But at a minimum for 4 to 8 weeks when they're open back up, because I think maybe the officers that are there might be able to point out, this is either happening or it's not happening. And I think that mitigation is a substantial financial burden on them. And there's this noise issue. So, and a lot of the complainants, I'm not looking to be disrespectful or to go back. A lot of it is the same complainant. And actually, when I've pushed some of the hearings, I think the board, at least on 2 occasions, wouldn't even find a violation. So there are some that are here that could be pushed to full hearing, but I think it's antagonistic. I don't think it's helpful. And if the complainant wants to see them punished, it's a substantial, this is a small business that's not making a lot of money. It's struggling with their own clientele that goes in there. So it is a substantial penalty. Whether the complainant feels it is or not, and I can appreciate, I know Mr. Signator's been on the board for a long, long time, and I think he probably knows what happens to a small business when they close like this for this amount of time. That they have bills to pay, rent to pay. So I would ask that you consider the lesser of the recommendations, which is there, coupled with the fact that they're willing to struggle and try and pay a police officer, which I think it would be good, because hopefully it would prevent complaints, or if there is noise that the person's hearing, then the police would be on site, maybe to try and mitigate it or to just substantiate whether that's what's occurring. Certainly it would be a deterrent if the theory is they keep putting the music up to a point where it violates the noise ordinance. Obviously, we'll answer any questions that the board wants answered, but we've been here a lot. I think you're familiar with all the issues. So they are here. They are taking responsibility. And of course, there's a wide range of other options that you could do that they would have to comply with. But I think one of the most financially burdened is to have them hire the police officer.
Okay, so thank you, Attorney Allen. I would just reiterate that the city is requesting 30 days to be served Thursday through Sunday when they are traditionally open. As we've done in the past with other violations, the goal is to make sure that we send enough of a message where this will not occur again. I will, as I've pointed out there, and as you can see on the agenda, there are many, many complaints against Delicias, and it's the same occurrence, right? It's the same noise. And while I respect the fact that they are willing to admit this evening, I would suggest to you that given the number of complaints, that it's more than reasonable to have them serve 30 days. As you know, we believe in progressive discipline, and just in terms of a hypothetical situation, if these were all to proceed, and even if 5 or 6 of them would be found in violation, that the commission would find them in violation, they'd be facing upwards of 60 days, if not 90, depending on, in terms of 5 days, first offense, 10, the second, 15, the third, and I believe any 5th and subsequent offense, it's 30 days per offense. I would just suggest to you that this has been going on for a long time. I would further tell you, as you know, Ms. Prouty has been here on every occasion, and on other occasions, there have been other people who live on Jerlis Drive who have had the same complaints. And as such, I think that a 30-day sanction to be served on those days that they are traditionally open, or they're busy, or at the very least, their busiest days, which would be Thursday through Sunday, that it is an appropriate disposition, and I would ask that the commission adopt it.
So if I could just add one other thing, if the chairman will allow me to add it, the chairman, not the lawyer, since the chairman runs the board, it's really a punitive recommendation by the city or through its council. And you should take evidence then, because you can't take Ms. Day saying when the business is traditionally open. There's been no evidence for it. There's one person here that can tell you at a minimum it's open Wednesdays to Tuesdays. So after I say that's when it's advertised and that's when it's open, would they then change their recommendation to say, let's really be punitive and close them only on the weekends, which they know is just a financial stake into a small business? That's when most of their revenue is generated. That helps them pay the electricity bills, the gas bills. So I think there needs to be a balance. It needs to be a little bit fairer than what's being recommended. And this has been a long journey, and I think they want to end it. I'm sure the board wants to end it, and hopefully there's a better way to deal with the noise thing, and that the police will assist them as they're going to pay them to be there. But as to the opening hours, he could speak in summary, but it's not okay to say council's lying when I'm showing you what their advertised days are opening. And then despite that, they then say, well, they're traditional days. Well, what are their traditional days? And then if you don't accept that, then just do it on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's just completely unfair and it's punitive.
Just briefly, a brief response to that. I'm speaking in terms of also of precedents, right? When we have had violations for other clubs, for other things, what we have traditionally done was to close them on the weekends. We've had requests from liquor stores. Oh, can we serve it on a Tuesday as opposed to a Saturday because it's busy then. So with that being said, it's based on precedents and what this commission has done in the past.
But the proposal as taken then would close them down for 8 weekends or more, unless my math is wrong. It's 30 days. 2, 4, 6, 8, unless we count Friday. So 3 times 4 is 12. So you're more than 2 months under that. You're really shutting them down for 2.5 months. If that's the argument you buy, if it's 3 days a week.
It would be 4 days, Attorney Allen. Right?
Any questions from the commissioners?
Attorney Sean Allen, recognized by his peers as well as the town lawyer, a qualified attorney. Attorney Sean Allen is
So,
Attorney Sean Allen.
how do we move forward?
Attorney Allen,
Yes.
your proposal of having a police officer present there, what days are your clients proposing to have those?
Friday and Saturday. Those appear to be the 2 nights where there's a lot of these complaints have come in. So on that financially, it's probably going to be about $400 a night or maybe more. I might have the math wrong because I think it's at least $65 an hour. So if they come in at 7 to close, my math might be a little bit off. And they might have told me $560 for a night. So that's $1,000 for the 2 nights. But the reason I had suggested to them Friday and Saturday is it looks like those are the 2 major nights that the clientele is up, that people are in there dancing, that the music apparently is loud, and that the complaints are coming in. If that answers your question.
Yes. On those nights, do they usually have some type of entertainment going?
So my understanding is they have music, if not a DJ. They have whatever they're allowed to under their licenses. It'll either be someone live singing, but my understanding it's been the DJ and those speakers that were amplifying that they were moving around and taking out. So I think generally because of the cost, it's been a DJ, which is much cheaper than live entertainment.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, Commissioner Cade?
Yes, Attorney Days, given the city's recommendation of 30 days suspension, Is there anything in advance after that? Do they return with a clean slate?
I believe the clean slate is the better global resolution
Okay,
to resolve everything with nothing hanging.
okay, thank you.
I agree with Alicia that this is a precedent that we have set for many years, and the weekend days are the days we issue the suspension, and I think this is a generous offer.
I just, for the record, the board can do what they want, but I thought, given the motion I filed, that there wouldn't be any weigh-in by Commissioner Signator, but unless that ruling's changed.
Alicia?
I think his comments were limited not to the facts or any of the cases, but just in terms of precedents, what the board has done before.
That's not what was reported as the ruling, though. The person that was not supposed to be participating or agreed to not participate is here participating. Doing part of my job is just to make a record and that kind of, that's all. It just kind of rear ends the ruling or decision, and runs, I should say. Thank you.
Well, I would have to say that, you know, it is true. In the past, we have closed establishments on the weekends. Actually, the weekend following the meeting is something that we have normally done in the past.
May I say something?
Attorney Days, can Ms. Prouty speak?
Well, we're not taking testimony, Ms. Prouty, at this time. Basically, what we're trying to come up with is an appropriate disposition. So for purposes of this, what Delicia's has been willing to do is to admit to the offenses in terms of all the incidents that we have before us. And what the board is charged with the responsibility of doing is determining the appropriate sentence or the whole appropriate sanction.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
So if I'm adding this correctly, if we do 30 days, that'll technically be 6.5 weeks. With 30, with 28, be 6 weekends. Does that sound right to everyone?
So I think if you did 30 days consecutive, it would be from whenever you say it's effective, but then if you do it the other way, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 4 is 20. 6 is 24. 7 is 28. You'd be essentially 7 point something weeks.
7.5 weeks.
So it's like 2 months, which I understand that we don't have to re-argue the theory of it, but you're really just shutting them down for 2 months. I mean, there's really very little business you could hear from them during the week. And if you look at the complaint history, you're not getting complaints on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. It appears to be Fridays and Saturdays. But they've also taken responsibility and in mitigation. You know, there was a lot of going back and forth. What was the noise? Who heard it? When they heard it? On different occasions, you've heard police officers testify. I don't remember all the incidences where they were going and they didn't hear it. And the argument was, well, they probably showed up and it wasn't going on, but it was going on when it was called. They've spared all that. They've taken responsibility. It's a substantial message that would be sent. So I would hope that if you are thinking that 8 weeks or 7.5 weeks, that you consider something more the lines of a consecutive consecutive decision for noise. Certainly you have discretion. I understand if there's past practices, but you certainly can. There's not crime happening there. People aren't getting knifed. People. This is underage drinking, so there's a lot of other worse things that you hear. I'm not saying this is bad, but this isn't an issue. But you can also look at the certain offense and what's happening. And I know you hear a variety of complaints all the time. So, but.
I'm just, go ahead, John.
Well, I'm looking and I want to understand this and I'm looking, my thoughts is 28 days with an agreement to hire the police officers on Friday and Saturday. And I do agree that that is a financial burden, but also it will also put a person, a police officer there to help monitor the situation in further time. That's just my thoughts at this moment. In going with the 7 weekends and agree that they do hire a police officer on Fridays and Saturdays.
I was actually gonna suggest something similar. If we did do the 30 days, they were originally mentioned consecutive, but with the agreement that, the police officers will be hired on the weekend. Whenever the police is not available, this commission should be informed. But, just like John, is just, I'm just thinking out loud.
My recommendation, Madam Chair, would be the 30 days. Being that if we took each violation separately, as Attorney Days indicated, that could be up to 90 days. So we're not talking about 2 additional days. So that would be my recommendation, 30 days with the hiring of a police officer just on the weekend.
Is that 30 consecutive days?
That would be 30 consecutive days on the weekend, whether it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or whatever we choose to do.
So consecutive as in Monday to Sunday, or
No.
are you just talking about the weekends only?
That would
Thursday,
be
Friday,
weekend.
Saturday.
Well, are they open on Thursdays? Yeah.
What they're saying is they're open every day of the week. I think it's what Attorney Allen is saying.
Yeah, I understand that, but historically, we've always given weekends, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If you want to go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's 4 days.
John, was your suggestion also weekends, or was it weekends or consecutive?
No, it was the Thursday through Sunday. But that would have been a 28-day with a assurance that they will hire police officers for those Fridays and Saturdays.
Okay.
Madam Chair, what happens if if there's a detail that's not available, a police officer doesn't accept the assignment or volunteer for it? What happens in that case?
That's a good question. What we've traditionally done is, as long as the licensee has met the requirement of requesting officers and having paid for them, if Springfield Police Department is not able to provide them, then the licensee has done their duty as we've asked them to do.
Yeah. Thank you, Attorney Days.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio, do you have any suggestions? What are your thoughts?
I'm thinking the same thing. And it's been egregious. I'm in favor of the 30 days, the Thursday through Sunday, what Commissioner Cade had proposed. If we looked at each, offense separately, it's going to total close to 90 days. I think 30 days is fair compromise.
Okay. Okay, is anybody want to make the motion? Attorney Days, should we go ahead and move on to a motion?
Can I just add one comment to Commissioner Ramirez's suggestion?
Yeah.
It's just, would you consider, I know you want the cop, and I think and I've been telling you to do it, would you consider a period of time for them to have the cop and then maybe come back and review how things are going? And even 8 weeks out after having the police officer, given the financial, burden that this is on them. Whether this business will remain viable at that point, I don't know, but I'm just, because I thought you might have implied, well, we'll do this, but then a new condition of being open on Friday and Saturday is that you must have this pay for this police officer. Because there'll be some Saturdays they won't even take that in at the establishment, $600 or whatever the number is. It's under $600. So that's the only reason I think we might have a barometer of. I don't know why it would hurt at least for you to review it in 8 weeks out after this. They start with it,
Well, I would to add to that proposal. 8 weeks is a little bit too low. Maybe a 3 to 6 months after that period, they can come back to the board and request to expunge that detail. But I see that having that detail will probably help that establishment in the long run. So we won't have these complaints coming. Like you said, there will be an officer there to be able to monitor and concur or not concur the incidents that's if an incident was to occur. They'll be there. They are sworn officers of the city of Springfield that we trust on their judgment to hold to the procedures and to the laws of the city of Springfield. So I will, like I said, I will go with I'll still hold to my 28 days. We're hiring a police officer for a minimum at least 6 months.
A review in 6 months?
Yes.
You're suggesting?
They can come back to us in 6 months and ask if we will agree to eliminate them from hiring a detail. It is a financial burden on the establishment to hire detail on Fridays and Saturdays. It is a burden on them. So to me, it seems like an extension of the violation for them to have a detail on their presence where it also will also help them. For them won't have to come back in front of us.
Let me ask the question, even if detail is present and you still get a complaint about noise, what happens?
Well, that's where I think we'll go back to the detail officer and ask what happened. The detail officer is there to handle situations that belongs and that goes along in that in the establishment.
I think that's a good point, Commissioner Ramirez. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong though, officers that are on detail are limited to the inside of the establishment, right? So they're not going to be able to walk to Geraldus Drive if someone calls in and says, that's my understanding anyways, that if they do the detail, they're inside of the establishment. So to your question, Commissioner Cade, if they get a complaint, I think other officers have to respond because the detail officers are limited to the interior of the club.
Well, that actually, just so you know, they're limited to the property. There's nothing preventing them from going to the exterior on the detail, and you can double check that with the police department. They wouldn't be required just to stay. But, there's an outside patio here, so there's a detail they're not regulated to the four walls of the establishment. They can go in the common areas on the street. But
Is that correct, Officer Delamarta? Or can they go to the outside and, like to the parking lot? I know this issue came up before with Mardi Gras, right? They stayed inside, they didn't come out, but would they come out?
They could go, I believe, on the property. I mean, the parking lot, I believe, clearly the patio is part of the licensed premise there. As far as going onto Geraldus Drive, I don't know. I would say no. But I'm not 100% on that.
Okay, so I think if they called Commissioner Cade, the police department would likely send officers, or I don't know if they reach out to the officers that are on detail there. I'm not sure of that.
Okay, thank you.
Well, my understanding, a detail officer does have a radio on its presence. So I don't think the dispatcher could reach out, or the supervisor could potentially reach out to that officer and kind of I don't want to say in the procedure or whatever, but what's going on in that expansion. We got a complaint from this expansion, what's going on in there. So
okay.
I don't want to let's not limit the police officer's scope of his or her duties while then on a detail. And I do recall they are able to go outside to the parking lot or in their property establishment where they work in the detail, and I don't want to say patrol, but if something happens outside the parking lot, that police officer is going to go out there to attend, to assist in any which way he or she may be. So, like I said, I honestly, the more I'm going with this and stuff like that, I think the 28 days with the detail officer for at least 6 months, it's starting to sound more reasonable for me than right now.
Anything else from the other commissioners? John, would you like to make that motion?
I would like to make a motion for a 20-day weekend with a request of a detail officer on Fridays and Saturdays, for they have to 6 months. They can come in front of us if they like, or they might to see if they want to keep that detail officer or expunge that detail officer after 6 months after completing their suspended.
There a second?
Okay, why don't we clarify the motion though? When you say the weekends, I mean, what days are you?
I'm sorry.
4 days
I'm
yeah, go
talking
ahead.
about Thursday through Sunday.
Okay,
So 28 days, Thursday through Sunday. Anybody have the calendar? I'm trying to do my math here.
it might be easier, Madam Chairwoman, if we take the motion to vote and see if it passes, then we can figure out the dates.
Okay.
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 I can be looking at the dates now.
Okay, is there a second to Commissioner Ramirez's motion? No second? Okay. Attorney Days?
Well, if it's not seconded, then you can't vote on it if no one seconded.
Okay,
So you'd have to
Any
get another
other-
motion.
right. Is there another suggestion, another motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we concur with the city's recommendation of 30 days suspension, with that being the violation dates of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, consecutively for the weeks. And I do like to make a recommendation that We have the police officers on detail for a period of 6 months, and they can come back before the commission to review.
Is there a second?
Second,
Okay. Commissioner Kane? Commissioner Cade?
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio?
yes.
Commissioner Ramirez?
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes.
Okay, so if I think at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I might be missing. Give me one more second.
Uh-huh.
So- Second. Second, okay, so with those, the dates would be August 11th, if we start this week. August 11th through the 14th, August 18th through the 21st, August 25th through the 28th, the 1st of September through the 4th, September 8th through 11th, September 15th through the 18th, September 22nd through the 25th. So that would be 28 days. And then the last week would be if you did Thursday and Friday, it would be the 29th and 30th, because that would do the 2 days. Or if you did, so any of, during that the 29th weekend, you could do 2 days during that week, that last weekend, because that would be your 30 days. So they'd be able to open up that Saturday, October 1st. If you start this weekend.
Attorney Allen?
It doesn't matter. You just shut them down for 8 weeks, so whatever. I'm not sure what you want me to say. To make it Friday and Saturday of the last week. Just make it an even 8 weeks.
Okay, so the Saturday would be that'd take them into October though, the 1st and the 2nd.
Whatever it is, it is.
Right.
You say you're not going to do it Tuesday and Wednesday, so I'm not sure what you're asking me about.
Because that last weekend, the 29th, 30th, 1st and 2nd, there's only 2 days that need to be served. Those would be the last 2 days.
So they would have to do it according to the order on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, right? So what,
Yeah.
Thursday would be Thursday and Friday?
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, the 29th and 30th, if they did it on the Thursday and Friday nights.
And then they can, that Saturday, October 1st, they can reopen that Saturday.
Right. So any preference, or does it matter? Attorney Allen.
You were asking me what the preference is? I mean, I don't know what are the options. It's the
They could
Thursday,
even do
Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So just do it on the Thursday and the Friday. If you're doing it consecutively, that's right.
Okay, so the 29th and 30th.
Okay. Do we have to make another motion and mention these dates, attorney days, or?
Well, you made the motion and the motion is passed that it'd be 28 days, Thursday through Sunday, with the detail of 6 months, Friday and Saturday nights. So
It's 30 days. Yeah.
I'm sorry, 30 days. I'm sorry, 30 days, Thursday through Sunday. So then we just outlined the days. So, I mean, I don't believe a motion is necessary, but if you like to, you can, just to identify.
It's okay.
And I guess the only other motion that you would need to determine is when it begins.
Okay. Attorney Allen, do you know if, I mean, taking into consideration that they're a restaurant, I mean, do you know how much food they have that they would need perhaps, week to get, to utilize those perishable foods, or starting on August 11th would be fine?
I can ask.
I'm just thinking in sense of, their food and, like I said, perishable items, so that, this stuff doesn't go bad. So when will you be asking your
Yeah,
client?
but then they're gonna be into the middle of October if they don't start this week.
Right.
We're gonna be out, technically another week. So I mean, that's just the order essentially may even shut the business down, so I just call them briefly because there's a language barrier issue. It'll take me a second. Okay. So actually, Rose, I appreciate the inquiry. They have a wedding on Saturday, so they're asking that you would consider it the next week. That obviously there's someone that's going to go there and have a reception. They paid. It's not even about, they'd have to refund them their money, but you're also ruining someone's wedding. So he would ask then you start at the following Thursday, and then obviously I just told him it would go out then to the. I'll let Attorney Days do the dates, so there's no confusion. It's going to then go. It
So
looks like to the second week of October now, if we're beyond the 30th.
Okay, so.
For 4 more days, I think, after the 30th.
We start on the 18th.
Yep, so the 18th through the 21st, 25th through the 28th, 1st through the 4th, 8th through 11th, 15th to 18th, 22nd to the 25th, 29th through the 2nd. And then that following week, they would have 2 days. So if, let me look back at my calendar. So that following week would be the 2 days. So the 6th and 7th would be the final days, October 6th and 7th. Is somebody else doing the math with me? I think that's right.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so that's the agreed dates, right? So we're not going to start, it won't start this week, and it'll start the 18th through the 21st.
Right.
And end October 7th.
7th.
And again, that takes care of all matters, even the one for administrative review tonight. We need to review that because that would be encompassed in this resolution.
So when your client does come back October 7th, well, for the 8th, it'll be a clean slate moving forward.
Let's hope.
Let's hope.
Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're good to go, right? Or just,
yes. Okay. Officer Cyan, Officer William, thank you so much for being here.
Miss Prouty too.
Miss Prouty, you as well. Thank you for being here. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Okay.
Okay, next we have again, we're back to the farmer brewers pouring permit. So I have more information for you. And I'm
Okay.
not sure, did Anna send it to you?
Yes,
Okay, so the statute in terms of how it's determined the price?
yes.
Okay, so I guess we need to know how many
Wait,
gallons.
no, the statute as to how to determine the price?
Yes.
No, I didn't see a statute.
Yeah,
No,
Oh.
She
Okay,
told us what the surrounding towns were and mentioned that Springfield just cut their seasonal license in half, and that's how they came up with their fee.
yeah, okay, so, well, we might be the first ones to do this right or wrong, or maybe the first, depending on what you're looking at, but there is a statute regarding farmer brewery licenses.
Right.
And it states the annual license fee for each farmer brewer in respect of each brewery shall be computed based on the malt beverage barrelage produced by the brewery as follows.
Oh, God. Come on.
That's what it says.
Barrelage.
Barrelage.
Oh, so they could vary within a municipality depending upon the size of the brewery?
Yes, and the number of barrels per year that they have.
Who audits the barrelage?
That's a good question. I don't know. No one, obviously, because all the other towns around us have done it based on how we did it, just,
Right.
And it says persons holding farmer brewery licenses shall report annually at the end of the year covered by the license, the amount of malt beverages that they produce during the year.
So if we do this right, it may change every year.
every year.
Right, if the
Oh.
total amount of such malt beverages exceeds the amount permitted by the fee already paid, the licensee shall pay whatever additional fee is owing.
Oh,
So-
my. Leave it to the legislature to get, is this something that the legislature wrote? Or
Yeah,
the ABC? Holy cow,
yeah. So,
honestly.
with that being said, first of all, I think implicit in the statute is that we don't really have a basis, right, to go on because there hasn't been a year that this brewery has been in operation to determine how much barrelage they had for the year.
Well, they've been brewing there for several years.
Oh, have they?
Oh, yeah.
Why didn't they have a license for several years then?
They did.
Oh, they did?
They did. It was just for off-premise consumption, so
Yeah.
growlers. They
Oh,
were
okay.
only open for growler fills. I believe a couple days a week, including the weekend. And then on a couple of occasions, they had 1-day permits for events there that were approved. I think they did
Okay.
2 or 3 of those.
Okay,
And they're pretty small when it comes to breweries. I mean, I'm no expert, but like
sure, you sounding pretty
Yeah.
they pretty much have like their original system was basically what some people have in their garage. It was very small.
Oh, wow.
They upgraded, but I believe they're still at the smaller end. I mean, they
Okay.
could probably answer the question about the barrels or gallons, however it's.
Okay, I didn't realize that. I'm sorry. I didn't realize they'd been open for a few years. So I guess what we'll do is I'll have the ladies go back and ask them if they have to report it annually. I guess it's recorded somewhere how many barrels they had, and I guess we would make our determination of price based on the
Is there
What's that?
ranges, like number of barrels to this barrels? Is this?
yeah. So if it's 5,000 barrels or less per year, it's $22 per year.
I think it'll be $22. 5,000 barrels?
Yeah, more than 5,000, less than 20, $44 a year. 20
Oh.
barrels, 20,000 barrels. I can only, you know what? I'm gonna look to see when this was even done. I'd imagine this statute's probably 1,000 years old, but anyway. More than 20,000 barrels and less than 100,000 barrels, $82 per year. So it goes up from there. Even with 1 million barrels per year, it's $111 per year. Now, for the above purposes, a barrel shall be 31 gallons. I feel like I'm in math class again, right? If you've got 31 barrels, then
Gallon barrels. Okay.
yeah, so why don't we start with that? I guess I'll go back and just ask how many they've reported over the last couple of years. And
Yeah.
then we can go from there and determine.
Right.
We'll
I'm
have our
taking-
mathematician figure out what the amount would be.
I'm betting it's less than 5,000.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's probably a
31
couple of weeks.
gallons.
A couple
What
of
do
weeks.
White Lions have? What license they want? Didn't they have a Farmers Bureau license as well before?
They had the farmer brewer, but they didn't have the farmer brewer pouring license.
Okay.
They
Right.
just made beer and for take a sale off premise, and they got 1-day licenses. And they would do like a food truck kind of thing at the Indian Orchard Neighborhood Festival, that kind of thing. But they didn't serve on premises.
Mhm.
Well,
My
that's
guess
great.
is they're under 5,000 barrels. And, I mean,
Okay.
Barry, you've been there?
I went to their first, when they got a 1-day permit, I went to that and they actually limited the amount of beer each person could get just so that everyone would have enough. So I think at the time it was I don't even know how many ounces. It wasn't like a regular pint size. I know that they were plastic cups. That was their first one. I haven't been back there since they, got this new license. I only went to their 1-day event.
Okay.
Okay.
So why don't we table that until I can get that information for you and then we can determine. So maybe we're gonna be the cheapest place in town to build a brewery, right?
Right.
That's very interesting.
Might be. Okay, so lastly,
Lastly is him.
the administrative review of incident reports, but I will tell you that I am glad that we have resolved Delicious.
Yes. Yes. It's been what, a year and 4 months, I think?
At least.
I mean, longer. I think it's been longer,
Yeah,
but
it has been longer. Yeah. So
So-
we'll see what they do. So it looks, I'm sorry, Madam Chairwoman, it looks like we have one incident report to review.
right, Himmel?
Yes, did everyone get a copy of it? And, okay,
Did everyone read it? Peter, did you get it?
I'm still going through all the emails back and forth between Sean and Alicia. Is it at the end? No, I don't see it. Is it?
I originally didn't get it, and when I saw it listed on the agenda, I emailed Anna, and then she emailed me.
Oh, no. So it's not in the packet. I don't see it in the packet, so I didn't,
I don't recall seeing it either.
no.
okay,
Yeah.
all right, so just because you guys want to hear me read.
Story time with Alicia.
I'm going to read it very quickly, as I used to do. All right, so this occurred on July 24th, 2022 at about 2:34 a.m. Officers arrested 2 females in front of Hemmel's for disorderly conduct. They were on directed patrol when they witnessed a vehicle drive by them with 2 flat tires. The vehicle pulled over in front of 270 Main Street. 3 females exited to look at the tires. The driver began to yell about someone possibly slashing her tires. Officers attempted to calm her down, but she continued to yell and cause a commotion, causing other patrons and nearby residents to stop what they were doing. One of the other females started to shout towards the driver, which made the driver become very irate towards her and the officers. The officers then placed the driver under arrest for disorderly conduct. The other female then became irate and she was subsequently arrested. Officer Delamarta reviewed the CAD using the parameters of 1 to 3 a.m. on July 24th. There was 1 call for service for disturbance initiated at 2:12 a.m. by the sector cruiser. The officer advised Officer Delamata via email of the arrest and indicated a few patrons became orderly during the bar let out, resulting in 2 arrests. He added that officers were on the scene and the owner was on the scene and was very cooperative with the officers. Mr. Poyser, who was the owner, was also the manager of record, and as I said, he was present. Officer Delamata spoke to Mr. Poyser on July 27th. He advised Officer Delamata there were no issues inside of the establishment. He added that the officers on the scene were very patient and kind to the females, gave them multiple chances to leave. He indicated the driver was upset because she said her baby daddy had slashed 2 of her tires while she was inside. They also tried to calm the females down, but weren't able to do so. And this report is being provided to the License Commission for their review and for whatever action they deem necessary. Those are essentially the facts.
So the woman driving the car was a patron of Hemmel's and exited to find a flat tire. Is that?
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like she went outside and found that 2 of her tires were slashed, because Mr. Poyser says there was no incident that occurred in the bar.
And nothing on the camera footage from the back parking lot showing anybody doing this?
I don't know if that was observed. I don't see it recorded in the reports. Officer Delamata, do you have any information?
Oh, I believe the female went back the next day. When I talked to Mr. Poyser, I believe the female went back the next day to ask him. And I don't believe she was even parked in the back. She may have been parked on the street already.
Oh,
That's a small parking lot in the back. I think
Yeah.
it only fits about 10 cars, maybe, if they're parked normal.
Right.
So, and again, he said it was, when she came back the next day, she was very apologetic. It was domestic related. I don't think she realized she had the flat tires when she started to drive.
All right. I make a motion to take no action. Is there a second?
Second.
All those, you go ahead. Go ahead, Rosa.
Commissioner Kane,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
I think that's all for tonight.
Can I just ask one question?
Yes.
I almost don't want to ask, but I feel like I have to. So I know the delicious matter that was on for review tonight that's resolved. There's 2 other ones that have happened, like July 31st and August 6th, that they haven't been submitted yet. So I'm working on those. I can submit them. I can not submit them. That's entirely up to you. It's the same thing. It's one of the nights there was a gun call. It turned into a disturbance. The other one was a noise violation.
My suggestion would be this, that you write them up, Officer Delamata, present them as in the usual course of business as we do. And then the board, if that's their pleasure, can add those into the sentence that they're now serving. But I think we should keep a record, I guess, in essence, is what I'm saying. Yeah, I think we should add them.
All right. Sorry to ruin that.
Yeah, you ruined the moment, Barry.
I wasn't going to mention it when Attorney Allen was here. That's for sure.
Well, we'll add them, and what we'll do is we'll vote, and if the vote is suggestive that we include them, then I'll forward a letter to him just saying that there's 2 more violations which the board has agreed to roll into the 30 days that they're now serving.
Okay. Okay, well, with that being said, I make a motion that we adjourn at 7:01.
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Well, good night, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks,
Take care.
everyone.
Thank you for your patience.
Bye-bye. Thanks.